The TMNT Cowabunga collection includes 13 classic Turtles games from the arcade, NES, SNES, Mega Drive and Game Boy, and the trophy list itself is really simple, as you get a trophy for beating each of the games included in the collection. So to me this sounded like a really simple platinum, but it was when I started to play the games that I noticed that the Cowabunga collection has a few whiffs of bullshit about it, from the classic seaweed level in the NES game.
Ow, ow, oh my days, he's dead. He is dead.
To the fact that during most of the Shredder boss fights he has a really bullshit move that will just kill you instantly, regardless of how much health you have left. Then there's the fact that the arcade games themselves in particular are totally bullshit and will just kill you in a lot of cheap ways, all to get you to spend more money in the arcade. I also found that in Turtles 2 the arcade on the NES, there was a lot of pizzas to pick up and restore my health. However, when playing its sequel, the Manhattan Project, there was barely any pizzas at all. I think I've seen 3 in the whole fucking game. Jesus, then there's this guy, what the fuck's going on here?
The turtle. The turtle. The turtle. The turtle.
While I liked the Game Boy games at first, they were also not immune to bullshit, like in Back to the Sewers, Act 5's level, which is just a load of floating platforms in the air that just seem to loop, so you never really know what the fuck you're doing and where you're supposed to go.
Evil fuckers! Die, please, just fucking die, mate! Oh my god, what is this?
And sadly there's also a couple of graphical glitches, mainly in the Turtles 2 arcade game on the NES. Look at the stage here as I walk down the road. There's now a split because this sprite of the road has just come apart. Then there's the song, what have they done?
Oh, hell no!
And despite all of those bullshit problems, and the fact that they butchered the theme song, the most bullshit part about the Platinum journey here was when I played the NES and MEGADRIVE Tournament Fighters games, because these are just absolutely fucking bullshit. This is a fucking beat 'em up that just takes no mercy on the player and will just absolutely kick your fucking ass. It's cheap bullshit and just unfair. It's a fucking joke, and I've got to beat the fucking game on both of them. Fuck me. Look at that! My health is just gone.
That one bullshit PlayStation trophy.
So for me, the S Tournament Champion and the G Tournament Champion gold trophies are by far the most bullshit in the game, because they require you to defeat Karai in the Tournament Fighters story modes, and this is basically just get to the end of the story mode with one of the turtles, defeating all of the other bosses as you go along. And even from the very start, this just seemed bullshit, because the very first fight in this mode was absolutely fucking solid. Like, I just couldn't seem to get anywhere in this fight to do a decent amount of damage on this guy, because every time I would try and attack, the computer just seems to know the perfect move to do to counter your attack or get in there before your hit lands. So it's just really difficult to actually consistently attack them and do damage, because they are just so much more like better and reading the game and doing all the moves. Like, I'm trying to fight like I would in like Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat, and here it just didn't seem to work. I just couldn't get anywhere and I got my ass handed to me. And then in the second round it was the same sort of story. The computer was just doing everything to just chip away at my health really quickly, and it was easy to just be overwhelmed because it was just an onslaught of attacks, and before I knew it I was down on the ground and I'd lost, and it was like, Jesus fuck. So I continued, but I thought I'd just try a different turtle, and I thought I'd just pick Michelangelo, and well, this is what happened here. Just like in the NES game, Michelangelo was fucking useless here, so I figured I'd try the toughest, most badass turtle instead, Raphael. Let's go! Wait, I lose! What the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I absolutely kicked his ass, and yet he hasn't even lost any fucking health, because one of the biggest problems in this game is that the computer just always fucking blocks way too much, and they don't lose any health when you block your attacks. My fucking god, this is ridiculous, man. No matter what you do, most of the time the computer will just block your fucking moves, so it can make it really hard to actually do some fucking damage, even though you're hitting him, so you'll just end up losing. Fuck me. So, I tried the final fucking turtle, Donatello with his big ass bow staff, and you know what? There was one move by just hitting triangle, I think it was, where he would just swing his bow in front of him, and that actually seemed to work. The computer would actually get hit by that. Not all the time, of course, but it would at least give me something, and I managed to get a bit more into the fight, but still, it wasn't enough. Still, this guy kicked my ass, but I did get close. But this was the first fucking fight in the story mode, for fuck's sake, and I can't even get a round off this cunt. Jesus Christ, this would only get worse the further I got into the tournament story mode, so fuck that. I'm not even going to try and brute force my way through that. I'm just going to fucking game over and go back to the fucking title screen and check out the fucking options, because there's got to be something in there to make this fucking easier, surely. So I went in there and I noticed the game level numbers, so I figured 7 would be the hardest and 0 would be the easiest, so I set it to fucking 0, didn't I? And then I started the story mode again, ready to have an easier time. And it worked like a charm, because before I knew it, I was kicking Shredder's ass and I'd saved April O'Neil, but to my surprise, the game didn't actually end there, because there was even more bosses to fight after him. He wasn't the final boss. So I carried on and I kicked all of their asses, taking out the guy at the fucking game show with ease. And then I got to this stage, which reminded me of the NES original, as you have to fight a clone turtle to save Master Splinter, and after beating up the fake Donatello, I saved Splinter as he dropped down, and then a cutscene occurred, which kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. I must do training to advance my skills. What? The end of the game? What? No trophy either. Oh my god, it's one of those bullshit retro games that you have to play on hard to get the true ending? Fuck's sake. The trophy description only says to defeat Karai in story battle. It doesn't say that you have to do it on a harder difficulty, so I think that in itself is bullshit, because the trophy just isn't clear what you have to do, which makes it frustrating and annoying. So I went into the options and increased the game level and shortened the round time just to make it a little bit easier on myself at this harder difficulty, and upon starting the first round I was massively fucked over by the computer, because they were even more fucking aggressive now, and it just was no mercy given, and I quickly got my ass handed to me and Donatello was down for the count. But then I realised these games have a rewind feature in this collection, and I was damn sure as hell going to make great use of it here. So my tactic now was to try and aim for a time out win. So this would just involve me damaging the opponent just a little bit, and always making sure that they've took more damage than me, and that was how I was going to win the rounds. If I could defeat them, great, but I was mostly going to be getting time overs. And unfortunately I did have to do 2 rounds per fight, which was annoying because there was no option to lower it to just 1 round per battle. So I just did the same tricks as before, just always using the rewind to go back and try again if I took too much damage. And I was just trying to chip away at their health so they always got more damage than me, to then get the timeout win victories over them, and it worked. It took a while, that's for sure, but eventually I got back to that stage that reminded me of the NES Classic, and this time it looked a little bit different as only the clone turtle was there. Splinter wasn't hanging up like he was the first time I got here, so I kind of felt like I was on the right track here and I was doing something right. I was on a hard enough difficulty to hopefully get this trophy, and after defeating the clone turtle there was even more bosses to take out, so I just employed the same tactic of getting time over victories, and eventually I got to Shredder, and it was here where I saw Splinter, and at this point I kind of panicked because I was hoping it wouldn't fuck me over again, because I wasn't actually on the highest difficulty. And after beating Shredder, Splinter talks about Karai, and at this point I thought the game was going to end and it would jip me out of the trophy again, but thankfully it told me to go and find Karai, and the game thankfully continued. So now I was progressing to what I think was going to be the final fight of the game against Karai. So here I am, and this one was an absolute joke as well, because she is just as bullshit as something like Akuma in Tekken 7, one of those final end bosses that just do everything to fuck you over. Even with the rewind feature here, you can still see that it was an absolute struggle to actually hit her and damage her without her then doing a massive combo on me. But eventually I got the first timeout victory, and now all that stood between me and the trophy was 1 more round's win. And again, she absolutely destroys me, taking large chunks of my health with like 1 move, and it just drains the health bar. So if I didn't have this rewind, I don't think I would have been able to beat this, because this is just absolutely bullshit. It's just a really unfair fight, and like a lot of the other battles, she'll just always block you every time you try and do a move, so I would have to constantly rewind to try a different move and hope that that one would get through and hurt her. And eventually I got the second timeout win that I needed, and then the gold S Tournament Champion trophy popped. Hell yeah, I was so chuffed at this point. Just, if anything, relieved that it was finally over and I didn't have to play the SNES version of Tournament Fighters again. So that was the SNES Tournament Fighter trophy, but I also had to do the Mega Drive version of this game. Oh, for fuck's sake. So with this one, I made the same mistake with this one as I did with the other trophy, because I played through on normal. I didn't change the difficulty, I just left it as it was, the default difficulty, thinking that would be enough. And then when I got to Karai and defeated her, I was expecting the trophy because I just assumed it would be done. But then the cutscene tells you that I've just defeated her clone, and then it ends, so I didn't get the trophy again. That was another 40 minutes of a playthrough wasted, so I had to go back into the options, cranked the level up to 8, the maximum, and then changed the rounds to 1, because thankfully I could do that here. And then I just had to beat each character this time, because I couldn't do a timeout win, because the time wouldn't lower down quick enough. It was always at 99, so I had to just win. I wasn't going to wait that long and do the coward's way completely. And to be fair, I did better on this one than the other game, and I even had some decent rounds where I quickly killed some of the opponents. But again, this game is just as bullshit, really, because the computer is just so aggressive and so over the top with what they can do and how well they can block your moves or do moves that will get ahead of your move that you're trying to do on them. So it's just another frustrating beat 'em up, to be honest, and it's not a very fun one at all. And then after defeating Krang, the Karai character appeared in a cutscene, and I was now fighting her, and it looks like the same stage, so I was kind of panicked at this point, because I was thinking, oh, it better not be the clone again. And after using a lot, and I mean an awful lot, of the rewind, as you can see here, sped up by 4 times, I eventually defeated her, but my god, what an awkward battle. Imagine doing this normally in a fight. I don't think you could do it. It's absolutely bullshit, but eventually I managed to defeat her, taking all of her health and beating her on that 1 round win. And then I just waited with bated breath, really, hoping that this was what the game wanted me to do, how it wanted me to play the game, and actually give me the trophy now. And then on the ending cutscene, where Karai is saying she can't believe she's been defeated by turtles, the gold G Tournament Champion trophy unlocked. And I was finally done with another bullshit Tournament Fighters. I'd finally gotten both of those gold trophies. And if you were wondering, the NES version of Tournament Fighters is again a different game. And on this one, I left it on the standard normal difficulty, and I just lowered the round time. And on this one, there was these ball things that give you like a special move. So my tactic was just kind of chip away at the enemy's health, wait for those, and do a Hadouken style move on them to finish them. And after defeating Shredder, this one actually did give me the trophy, even though I played it on the standard difficulty. So if the NES one could do that, why the fuck couldn't the Genesis, Mega Drive and SNES versions do that? So that is why they are bullshit, and they get a bullshit trophy rating of...
What an asshole. Oh, you're such an asshole.